Thank you everyone for joining us. It's good to have you today. All right. And we have decided to make September everything enjoy womanhood. In the month of August, we talked about men. We're just talking about men, all the issues that affect men. And while we are talking about men, some issues affected those of us that were men. Some of us broke it down and different things, but this month of September, we want to address the different issues that women get to deal with in the community, in the society, with their personal self, their personal lives, their personal spaces, and the rest. And so we are starting the month of September with this amazing topic, right? Am I a real woman? And we just want to see how we can explain, understand, define, and be able to come up with the true meaning of womanhood and the rest. And of course, then we are having the regular phase, very, very regular phase. One of our amazing counselors at the Alright Passion, Oluwat to say Sanusi joining us from the UK, our Nigerians in diaspora, they are our Nigerians in the UK branch.
Right?
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
coming. How you
Thank
doing?
you. I'm fine. No, it feels so cool to be in front of the camera after like I took a break like in August. So it feels
Mm.
strange looking at myself like, oh wow, you're back here. But
Well, this is you.
so glad. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there was. It's amazing to have you as one of our guests, and coming to be talking about the whole identity of who a woman is and everything. So, the first question I want to ask: are you a woman?
I identify as a woman. She are. My pronouns are she and I. Thank you.
That's your pronoun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So since you identify, can I also identify as a woman
No, you cannot. Yeah, man.
for the purposes of September, right?
Yeah,
You
for the
will not.
purpose of September, yes. You're allowed
You will
to
allow me.
sneak peek into our
Mm,
brain.
that's fine. That's fine. So let's go straight into the gist. What was it that came to your mind when you received that particular topic? When you saw that topic, defining womanhood? Am I a
Mm.
real woman? What were the things that came to your mind?
Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is first of all,
Mhm.
can we even define a woman? Like, can you like literally put a definition to say that this is what womanhood is, apart from what the dictionary gives, which is like the basic definition. But that was like
Yeah.
basically what came to my mind, and it also made me feel like after reading, it made me feel like I'm a woman, but like what's important as well is that I am a person,
Mm.
because
Yes.
sometimes even that womanhood and all of those
Mhm.
terms also puts pressure. So, like, first of
True.
all, I identify as a person, and then
Mhm.
yes, my gender is that I'm a woman. So, those were the
Mhm.
things that first came to my mind, and also like
Yeah.
the other subtopics that came under it was so relatable
Mhm.
because of how society has just like
Yeah.
men, there's a stereotype when you mention woman or when you mention a man, there's that thing that people
Mhm.
just assume this is what it is about. So those
Mhm.
were just like the things but basically what first came to my mind is, can we even define, can you put a label and say like this is womanhood? So those are the things that came to my mind.
Right. I think I like the way you're looking at it because sometimes we may want to define that, oh, you know, thank God you grew up in Nigeria and you grew up in Ibadan. You definitely would have seen all those heard of those kind of things that are, if you're a real woman, you ought to be married by now. You need to be married to feel like a woman
Absolutely.
and and the rest. I remember one particular quote from Olarotimi's book on the Oba of Benin when the Oba heard that the queen was not yet married. And the Oba said that no, that a woman without a man is like a very rich and fertile soil that has not fed the roots of a crop. And I was
Wow.
like, I was
Wow.
like, why?
This who?
I was like, Wow. So
I
you have to
did.
see the root of a crop. Now he's talking about marriage, but at the same time, you are hearing having children because you are like, oh, and that's why I hear some people say, and some people are worried about who they are and their personality.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I need to have kids to actually be that woman. I need to
yeah.
have this
But then
kid.
people are in the
I need to
society
have
too.
children.
Yeah,
Some have one and they still feel they are not all of it.
absolutely. Yeah.
They need to have more. Well, and that was why I wanted us to have this discussion to be the first topic that would open up for us all the conversations that we are going to be having all through the month. Because all through the month, we're going to be talking about different topics, how to enjoy singlehood, for those who
Mhm.
are newly married, for those who are first time moms. We are going to be having different amazing topics. So I want to say for someone like you who you have be able to transition some of the different phases from your childhood to your teenage days, from your teenage days to being a young adult to getting married to being a mother right now. So you're a mother right now. Then there's also another phase where you have to become a grandma and all of that. And that time is coming, right? So everybody wants to be a grandma, grandpa, something. But forget that that also defines that we are old.
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah,
So
you know,
the moment the moment you the moment you get to that phase, it's also a definition. It's just an
mm,
awareness that
like
you're
wow.
now old.
When
Like
did I
you're
get
old.
here?
So what has it been like for you living in that reality of, let me allow me say, womanhood through the journey? What has the journey been like for you? And for each of these phases that you have experienced, your childhood phase, your teenage days, being a young adult single woman, getting married, um, having a child, and having a family right now, these different phases that you have gone through, what did it mean for you? What were the different meanings, different definitions, different understanding that these phases were for you?
Okay, thank you for that. So first of all, when we were children, I mean, the only thing we cared
Mm.
about was running about and playing and having fun. We basically had no worries. We didn't even understand all these societal pressures and all of those things. Once we
Yes.
eat, sleep, play with your
Mm.
friends. We literally had male friends, all the friends, and your
Mm.
parents don't worry. But so
Mm.
transitioning to secondary school, I think I started becoming more aware of the fact that I was a girl, then because I started to meet like different other girls like seniors, my mates, and most
Mhm.
importantly, my mates that were like maybe even fully developed, like in
Yeah,
just when you have mates that were like already like figure eight looking open,
I'm telling you.
and I was looking like Kane, like what's going on, God? Are you forgetting
Why are they not
something?
coming out? Why are they not coming out?
you know?
Channels of my spirit.
And I went through like so much, I don't want to call it bullying, but just name tags in
Mm.
secondary school because I was
Mhm.
that, if when they do as beautiful as somebody, as something like
Yeah.
all the alphabets, I think you muted. Okay, good. I mostly get the
Yeah.
F. So I used to get as flat as
Mm.
Tosin, as flat as
Mm.
Tosin for most of them. So I think that kind of made me to start having that identity crisis, feeling like
Yeah.
something was off, something was wrong. I didn't look like other people. There were like few people that looked like me. And then there nobody used to share their struggles. So you don't even know if they're feeling
Yeah. True.
what you're
True.
feeling. Everybody was
True.
just masking it like we'll go, we move and all of
Mhm.
that. So I think secondary school was when I started becoming aware of that identity crisis, and it led to
Mm.
self-esteem issues. I got into wrong relationships because I was trying
Mm.
to prove that I belonged as well, that I could be
That
classified
that we
as
that we are still fine.
you get that I had what it
Yeah.
takes. I was
Yeah.
forming player girl, like I was the one using the guys. But it all stemmed from the fact that I didn't know who I was, because if I was rooted in that,
True.
all of that would not matter. So
True.
transitioning to university, I think that Pedigree University, I like gave my life
Mm.
to Christ again. So I think that
Mm.
there became that kind of awareness of who I was in Christ, not even
Yeah.
necessarily who I was as a woman. for who I was in
Yeah.
Christ. So I think it kind of substituted in a way for it, because I no longer was classifying myself based on those things, even though sometimes they would definitely matter when you see somebody that you're even older than, looking
Mm-hmm.
like, as more, maybe has like a thriving business,
Mm.
as like all nice shape, or has like different guys on a list, and you're feeling like, me say, God, am I a pencil? But I
What
think
am
that
I?
I think the identity in Christ helped,
Mhm.
throughout university. But getting out of university and meeting my husband, I think those things kind of resurfaced rather, because I remember that
Mm.
those are questions I asked him, like, bro, you can see me, you can see my shape, you can see, don't
Mm.
expect that probably I'll add like, wait, see my mom, see my sister, like this is our stature in this family. Like, so I don't think
We
I'll
are not
ever
more than this.
get, do you get? I don't think I'll ever get like fat, like, of course I had like more weight, but
Mm.
like don't be expecting like something that is not there.
True.
But I'm glad that, we were able to, I was saying it in the sense that, like, open your eyes, before you enter. This is
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that, he was also able to affirm me, and, just say, like, hey, telling me the things I know, yeah, yeah, you're beautiful the way you are. Like, these things does not
Mm.
define you in
Mm.
any way. So I think that has just been like the transition. And then motherhood, I think motherhood just put like a whole lot of pressure, from some things that, like, so sometimes I feel like, especially days like I wake up late, like when I was just a new mom, like sometimes I'll sleep,
Mm.
I wake up late, and then you go on Instagram and you see a good woman is the one that wakes up 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, I beg, let me be a bad woman in peace. Just let me be a bad no pressure,
Don't come
don't
and kill me.
pressure me. Let me be a bad woman in peace with my full chest. you know. So I think that one thing that
Mm.
I've been opportune to or one thing I think
Mm.
one grace, or I don't even know if it's a grace or gift that God has given me, is that, see, those some of these things don't really pressure me again. I'll clearly say,
Mm.
oh, let me be the bad person in peace. People leave me. Don't pressure my life. So I
Quietly.
think that has been a transition for me basically.
Mm. That's fine. That's good to know. Like we get to live through the different ages, and like when we were talking about the teenage years, talking about the shape thing, even
Mhm.
for guys also get to experience things like that. So you
I
actually have
actually
fear
didn't
of
know.
success.
I actually didn't know, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like you guys felt almighty and
Nope.
uncongish. until my
Nope.
husband, I
Because
was,
sometimes
my husband and I were talking, and he mentioned like guys also experience that those pressure, and I'm like, are you
mhm,
serious? I didn't
like
know.
are you beginning to is your has your voice gotten deeper, right? Has your voice cracked? Like right? Have your voice cracked? Have are you having beards right now? So you see teenagers carry spirit, putting it on their face
Oh
just to
my
make one beard
god.
come out. And when one mistakenly comes out from one corner, you start celebrating it. You rub it um um Vaseline and hair cream so that it becomes shiny all the time.
Oh
And
my god.
and all of that. You, over time, there's always been this issue of defining the standard of beauty, right?
Mm,
Defining the standard of beauty. And so that was why, for example, you had to face that challenge because people
mm,
expected that by this time, oh, your hips should be very wide.
yeah.
Your bum bum should have come out. There are some people that have flat bum bum and they were told that once you start having kids, it will come out.
Mhm.
But right now they have had kids and the rest nothing is coming out and the rest. So people have always been pushing that hope. And so you're like, oh, what is it like for women dealing with the standard of beauty? My question I want to ask is that standard set by society, set by men, or is it set by women?
Hmm.
Let me actually, is it set by men or is it set by women?
To be sincere, I think it's a combination of everything. Now let me explain.
Okay,
So
yeah,
set by society in the sense that when I was young, I didn't have these definitions. But by the
true.
time I got into secondary school, people already had that perception of what it was supposed to look like according to societal norms or what
Okay,
most people put forward. So
yeah,
in a way, the societal standard sort of now also
Yes.
sinks into
Mm-hmm.
both male and female, and then we now
Mm.
carry it on. Sometimes we
Yeah.
even extend it, or even put more pressure on it.
True.
And there would always be societal pressure, but I think that
Mm.
what makes it stay is when we
Yeah.
now put it on ourselves.
On ourselves.
So I
Right.
think that that's
Right.
it. That's why I think it's a combination of everything. So when it now becomes like your reality, is because you have also put it on yourself. Because even when we are 50, there'll be societal pressure
Mm-hmm.
what this should look like. Even when you're a
Mm-hmm.
grandma, there will be what society has termed it to look like. But
Yeah.
putting it on yourself is what makes it your reality. And then
Mm.
you start experiencing all the identity crisis, feeling like
Yeah.
you're not matching that standard, in a way. So I think that's what it is.
You, you get it. Thank you for that feedback. Of course, we have about 4 minutes to go thereabout. So for those who are watching right now, if you have questions, we want to drop the questions in the comment section and we will take them. And if you have comments that you want to make, also drop them in the comment section and we'll take them. Now, if you have not yet subscribed, then you are wrong. You are
Yes,
so wrong. So
yes.
please subscribe right now and share it with your friends so that they get to enjoy the same things you are enjoying. Besides, every Thursday, 8 p.m., we'll be live here talking about how to just enjoy womanhood. And with me today is my friend. How long have we been friends now? Um, from what?
I think
How
six
is it
years.
your marriage? Is it up to 6 years?
No, 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 sorry. That'll be like 4 or 5 years.
Four,
4 or 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So I'm with my friend
I know you're
Sanusi.
supposed to wish
So
me an happy anniversary today. If I'm even supposed to deliver wine to my house.
wait, today's actually your anniversary. Oh.
Actually,
Jesus is
yes.
Lord.
Forever
How did
and
that?
ever.
Funny enough, that it was. Ah,
I just
please.
forgive you because your wife did not forget. That's why. That's why I forgive you.
The next,
As
the
wished
next
me.
time you see me, the next time you see me, bees on me, bees on me.
Let me write it
As
down.
long as it's not more than popcorn, terms and conditions apply. No, but the funny thing about that, she brought it to my notice, and this morning we were calling everybody. We were calling everybody, and it was came to my notice. But I was like, okay, maybe later, later, and that's the problem with later, later,
I'm
later. Now
telling you,
later.
that later
Forgive
it
me.
will be like the next day.
I apologize. Happy wedding
Oh, really?
anniversary.
Thank
How has it
you.
been for this woman?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Am I not
Hmm.
shining? Are you not seeing my
Ah,
chin?
yeah. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. I was just telling somebody which I said, so see the baby girl for life.
Hey.
You like it, the baby girl standard.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. Now, for those who have questions, please drop your questions. I would like to ask this, right? Because the thing about it is that I see people who get to struggle. I see women out there where having many of them bleach because they want to be fair, right?
Mm.
Like they want to be fair. Like you see, by the time we are doing a 10 years after throwback, you see some people who don't want to compete because like I see some people from my university, I'm like, no, 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 she was not like this. Like this was not this was not how the face used to be, or this is not this is that. And now we're having people where people are trying to get your attention by all means. It's like bigger boobs can no longer get your attention. So they not just go with that bra. So it's like,
Absolutely.
oh, if the big boobs cannot get your attention again, let's just go with that bra. It's like bigger bum bums and bigger hips cannot get your attention again. Okay, let's just start getting camel's toes and fitting camel's toes and the rest. So we get to see all these different things and all of that. What would you say should be those true things, either one thing or those true things that should define you as a woman?
To be honest, I think is what will define anybody. Knowing who you
Mhm.
are outside of what you carry on your body,
Yeah,
knowing what it is that you can give as value, the things that you've
yeah,
invested in yourself, and most
yeah.
importantly, who God has called you to be, who God has said you are. Because even all of this big bum bum, big breast, sometimes for most people does not remain that way, especially when you go through marriage, childhood, and all of those things.
Mm,
So then the chase becomes a rat race. You keep running for the next thing, you keep running for the next thing. So it's just better to stay rooted. Let your convictions be rooted not in what is on your body, not in what
I get.
is, honestly, sometimes I tell myself, not even necessarily in what is in my brain sometimes. Like, I am, because sometimes
Because you to
intelligence
think anyhow sometimes.
do you get intelligence too can put you under that identity crisis, because you always meet somebody that is far more intelligent than you are. You
Yeah,
talk in
that's
some places and sometimes you feel like, oh, more, I thought I was intelligent too. Because you met people that way more intelligent, way more
Mm,
exposed. So it's
mhm.
important that those are not the things that define you. Those are not,
Yeah.
because those things are fickle. They can either be worked on, they can either be
Mm,
improved on. So
mm,
make sure that whatever it is that defines you as a woman is not based on what is fickle or what it is
yeah.
that you can do something about. Make
What is
sure
it?
it
What is it that is official?
make sure it is
Yeah.
more than that. You
Mm.
want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something because when you're saying not things that are fickle, and it's more than that, including what is even happening in your brain, right? I remember one time when we newly got married, and I told my wife that she's not Proverbs chapter 31 woman, and she should not try to be Proverbs chapter 31 woman. Bec-
See,
I was
the
like, you
pressure is
cannot just try
pressure
to
is
kill
still
yourself.
plenty.
Yes, if you are not facing the pressure of societal beauty standard, you are facing the career world, the intelligence, the qualifications that people are having. Like you are seeing your age mates, they are having PhD and they are already pursuing another one. I'm like, what's your problem? Like, what's your like seriously, what's your problem? So you're having this people do all these kind of things, and so there's also a place of growth. And I'll be asking you, that'll be the next question I want to ask you. Like a place of growth. I wrote something recently. I'm going to share on Facebook in several days to come. And what was it that I shared? I said that we had to learn that although we're a marriage counselor, I'm a marriage counselor, I'm a sex therapist and the rest, we have to learn that all the amazing things and the beautiful things we see out there in people's marriages, all the amazing things that we would like to see in our marriage, all the culture, the tradition, right, the routines, the rituals that we would like to see in our marriage, they cannot all happen in one day.
Absolutely, I agree with
They
you.
cannot all happen at once. Like you
Yeah.
cannot come to our marriage in our first year, in our second year, in our third year, and see all these things. We
Yeah.
have to allow time. We have to grow into
Absolutely.
it. We have to grow over a period of time. So I
Yeah.
would like to ask you regarding growth, what is it that you'll be advising women generally in allowing themselves to grow?
So first of all, invest in yourself and do it not under pressure, because it's in season. Life is in season. Like especially, permit me to tilt a little bit more to married women, especially if you're married and you're starting to have kids. You need to kind of reduce the pressure on yourself. Even if there's a pressure, let it be positive and not the one that makes you feel like you've not achieved anything in your life. So let it be gradual. Give yourself that pace. There are some things that you desire. Like, before I got married, my parents were clamoring, doing my masters. My aunts were saying, go to your
Yeah.
masters abroad. I was like, no, like, I know that what God wants for me right now is marriage. But
Hmm.
now, 4 years, 3.5, 4 years down the line, I have that masters already. You know,
Correct. And you
so
still
I
have that
think,
marriage.
and I and
And
I
you have
have
that
that
kid too.
marriage, and I have a child. So I think
Mm.
it's just giving yourself pace to grow. Some
Yeah.
dreams can be a bit delayed, in a way to
Yeah.
accommodate whatever season that you are in. So stay realistic in your growth
Yeah.
process. Follow the smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Follow
You
it.
still remember
Whatever
that thing.
works. Eh?
I say whether you still remember that thing.
I remember.
I know
I
the
just finished
whole
masters
concept,
now.
but
I still remember small book. So
I
stay
forget say
realistic.
you be bookworm, you be bookworm. Two
I
of
just
us
finished
not be made for
masters
book
now.
now, so
Why
you're
now?
not supposed,
Because I
you
just
know.
finished masters.
Even me when I just finish yourself, that be project remain for me. Now project remain for me. Ask me some things like, sir, stop it, please. What things are passed away?
I'm telling you, all things have become new, but forging ahead. So just stay realistic with whatever season that you're in.
Mm,
What can
yeah.
you achieve,
Mm,
in that particular season? What is achievable in that season? And once you
yeah.
find it, go for it. If what is achievable where
Yeah.
you are is an online masters, go for it.
Mm,
If
yeah.
what is achievable is just something online, if you can't make it there physically, then go for it. No
Yeah.
knowledge is wasted. Just make sure
Yeah.
that at every point in time you're adding to yourself. There are lots of things you can also learn on YouTube, and also
Mm,
take advantage of is it DIY or DIY? Do it yourself, yes, so
do it yourself.
DIY.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to like watch some things
Mm-hmm.
and try. Like I've grown in my cooking skills. YouTube video, we try. We spoil it, we try again. So just
And once you have a husband and you have kids that don't mind,
they
well,
will
give
eat
us
it like
let's
that because you cannot
let's
waste the
grow with
food.
you.
So just yeah,
And
just show yourself grace,
I,
basically.
sorry to cut you. And on that word, show yourself grace, right? And many women need to understand that they are not superhumans, right?
Yeah.
And that was where I brought in the concept of the Proverbs 31 woman. Like, don't try to be this perfect, to be this awesome, to be. You are already who you are, right? The moment you were born, your gender to a large extent was defined by your genitalia. So automatically you have a whole lot biological wiring. You have a psychological wiring that comes with you from birth, and you come into a community that now says that, oh, women should act like this, men should act like this, and you may just put yourself under unnecessary pressure, trying to become everything at once, trying to achieve all you can be at once. And there's just that place of, giving yourself grace, like be
Absolutely.
graceful and
Yeah.
be merciful to yourself. You are fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's a major thing about it. Like I usually tell people that most of the girls that we actually the tuition girls when we were teenagers, we see them right now. Sometimes I'll ask ourselves like, "Hello, like if we are seeing into your future, we will not have been dying for what we are dying for at that particular time, right?" And and these things just keep on changing. One time it is people who are tall that are trendy, another time it is people who are short, sometimes it is people who are fair, another time it is people who are on the big side. It just keeps on. However, people will never find you attractive if you don't make yourself attractive in the sense that you are enjoying yourself and you
Yeah.
are just enjoying your life. Right. I remember TD Jake saying that joy is contagious, so you should spread it, right? So if we are not seeing that joy in you and you are not expressing that joy, nobody will definitely want to meet you. Yes, of course. Somebody has discovered that I'm around. And somebody has discovered that I'm around and I'm in the study and the person is trying to break in. Okay. Now lastly,
Sorry, before you go, I
before
just
we
want to add
yeah,
something. I
yeah.
think that one thing that makes women want to what's that word now? Like combine everything, act in a certain ways because they are trying to prove a point, and that point is what society has called strong woman. So you see, like what people say, oh wow, yes, you're a strong woman. You are a oh wow, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. Well, yeah, it sounds good to them. People also want to be classified as a strong woman. Bro, believe me, I'm not a strong woman. Like, leave me, I want to be a baby girl. I feel like we've given that strong woman word. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
sometimes it's just basically suffer end. Like you're putting
True,
yourself under
true.
so much suffering on because you're trying to identify
Mhm,
as a strong woman. You don't
mhm,
have to prove a point. Do what you can at the moment. Like, honestly, I feel like if some of maybe my ancestors come to my house now, they literally just be like, ah, you are lazy. Because I'm that person that would not overdo. Like when I had my baby, even before I had my baby, I employed someone that will come clean the house. I will not clean. I will not do so many
Quietly.
things,
If my
because
money can do it, why should I do it?
right now my job role is a mother. I'm not cleaning. I'm not doing anything. So but our parents, like my mom will share
Yeah,
some of our stories. While after some of them after they gave birth, they were already washing clothes, not just their
yeah,
own,
yeah,
husband's clothes, husband's
yeah,
mother's clothes, even
yeah.
sometimes husband's brother's clothes, some of
Mm,
those things. And we'll be like, ah, mom, you're such a strong woman. Yes, they are strong because they survived it, but it does not have to be our own reality. So I just want to add
true,
that for every
true.
woman out there. You don't have a point to prove that you are a
I,
strong
I,
woman.
I, sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
Even if we look at it genetically, I think based on the experiences we are having, we are becoming weaker vessels
Mhm.
than our ancestors.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely. Even the
we
men.
must realize, yes, including the men. I'm not.
Mhm.
That's why I said we, not just
Mhm.
women. Men,
Yeah,
we are becoming weaker vessels because the physical demands that were on our
yeah,
ancestors are not on us. The
absolutely.
physical demands are not on us. Like many of us, we just lazy out on the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only part of our body that works these days is usually the brain.
Brain,
So
absolutely.
if the part of your body that works these days is more of your brain, more brain
Mhm.
activity, making decisions, making choices, clicking this, clicking this, doing
Mhm.
all of that, that is what
Mhm.
is happening right now. Why do you want to compare to yourself with your grandfather who had to go to the
Yeah.
farm every day? Like
Mhm.
you want to compete with your grandmother who had to trek several miles to the stream. We
Wow.
just we
Absolutely.
just
Like,
turn off the tap
why?
and water is running out. We just turn off the tap and water is running out. See, we are that lazy set
Yes.
physically. We are
Probably.
our strength is in the brain, in our
Yeah.
brain, right?
Yeah.
So women should ensure they don't try to become who
Exactly.
they are not, who
Yeah.
they are not. In fact, I would not want to take more of your time today. I believe that all those who have watched have gotten value. You have
Yeah.
enjoyed today's session. Thank you so much again, um, Sister Deborah.
I knew you were going to do that. I just knew it. I was expecting it, but it's okay. It's okay. I feel like at
Thank you,
work now, most people I speak over the phone call me. Even me, I'll be like, "Hi, my name is Deborah," and I'll be like, "Oh, Deborah." I'm like, Deborah. But it's okay. I'm embracing it.
okay, thank you, Sister Deborah. Um, thank you, Sister Tosin Sanusi, for joining us this evening, for giving us a great start, and thank you for to your husband and to your son for allowing you to join me. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who has followed today or those who are watching right now. I want you to subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. You drop your questions, we can still answer them as the month goes on or after now. And not just that, I also want a situation where you can share this with your friends so that your friends can enjoy the amazing things that we will be sharing all through this month, which is all about enjoying womanhood. My name is Ellen. I'm all right. I'm from the ancient city, ancient and modern.
So,
From the ancient and modern city of Ibadan. I
hey,
want to say you raw. Yeah, missing Ibadan now. No Abula
I
for
am
you.
actually. I'm missing the
No
food.
no Amala Sky. No
Yes, that's what I'm
uh,
missing. The food.
Abula Palace.
Ah, stop it
Uh,
now.
five continents and so sorry. Thank you guys for joining us today. Next week Thursday by 8 p.m. we have other amazing guests and we'll be talking about how to enjoy single food. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. You rock.